to you are not the parent strain, where today's drama is more tangled than a mislabeled fly vial and twice as volatile. We've got a full on genetic scandal buzzing in the studio today. Our couple, Carrie Allele and Redmond Wildtype, are both sporting the iconic brick red, perfectly wild type eye color, and they swear they've got nothing mutant in their relationship. Their F1, red, red, red. Textbook Mendelian uniformity, a chorus line of identical wild type phenotypes. But that F2 generation, a single white eyed fly son lands in the vial, and suddenly the family tree's looking a little complicated. Redmond claims foul play, Carrie claims science, and the white eyed male best friend might be hovering a little too close. Now, he's not saying anything, but those antennae have opinions. We ran the allele analysis, we checked the X chromosome, and we pulled pedigree records from 3 generations back. We even measured the recombination distance just to be pretty. And tonight, we settle it. Was this white eyed son the predictable product of X linked recessive inheritance? Or did a stray white eyed male sneak his genome into the mix? Let's bring out our guest and finally uncover who inherited what and who is the parent of this mutant strain. Redmond, the room is yours. Why exactly do you think this white eyed son can't be yours? More listen. We're both red eyed, both wild type, both dominant. My genotype is X plus Y. Now I've checked, double checked, and I even got the PCR receipts to prove it. Then suddenly, our F2 gives me a white eyed son, a whole recessive X linked trait beaming out the void. And Carrie? She never told me she was X plus XW, never told me she was a carrier. Meanwhile, her best friend, that white eyed guy, keeps buzzing around her food like he co owned the vial. Now, I'm not accusing her of cheating, but genetically, something ain't summon.
Maury, please. I'm X plus XW. That doesn't make me suspicious. That makes me a heterozygote. My grandmother carried XW. My aunt carried XW. Half my lineage looks red but carries recessive secrets. We're basically a walking genetic subplot. Dominance means the red allele masks the white allele. So in the F1, yeah, everyone's gonna look red. That's predictable. But sons in the F2, they only get one X chromosome, no backup. If a son inherits my XW, born white phenotype. That isn't cheating. That's a genetics doing its very reliable job.
That white-eyed dude is always in her space, always rooming his antenna, always flapping like he's important, and now I've got a white-eyed son. Now I'm not jumping to no conclusions, but this genetic cross is throwing me off.
I'm exhausted explaining recessive alleles to him. He acts like the moment you look red, you are genetically red. Babe, that's literally not how heterozygosity works.
All right, everyone, wings down, time for evidence. Because while emotions lie, genetics doesn't. Let's take it to our scientific analyst for Punnett Square analysis.
Thank you, Maury. All right. Emotions are high and allegations are flying. So let's slow this all down and go step by step through the genetics. So up at the top, at generation 0, we have Carrie's parents. Her mother is a heterozygous carrier, shown as a half-shaded circle. She has genotype X plus XW. Her father is an unaffected male with genotype X plus Y. When they have children, Carrie inherits the XW allele from her mother, which makes Carrie an X plus XW red-eyed carrier. Now moving on to generation 1. So let's look at the actual couple in question, Carrie and Redmond. Carrie is a carrier, X plus XW, and Redmond is a normal red-eyed male, X plus Y, with no Y-eye allele at all. So when we look at the Punnett square of Carrie and Redmond, we can see that their cross predicts a red-eyed daughter, a red-eyed son, a red-eye carrier daughter, and one white-eyed son with genotype XWY. And here's the key takeaway. The white-eyed son is perfectly predicted by this cross. Nothing suspicious here. This is exactly what you would expect from an X-linked recessive trait when mom is a carrier. And when we zoom in on just the sons, the story becomes even clearer. Sons get their Y from their father, but their only X comes from their mother. So if Carrie gives them her normal X plus red-eyed son, but if she gives them an XW, then an Y-eyed son occurs. This is hemizygosity. The son's X chromosome directly reveals what allele came from mom.
Listen, I've been talking to Flaberto, my brother-in-law, and he said with your sister that they had a white-eyed son. Whole lineage is messed up.
It's because me and my sister are both carriers. You don't even got a single brain cell in that fly head of yours to comprehend that.
Listen, I just don't be getting with all these white-eyed women in the vial.
How would you even know that? Your sperm stays in their body for the rest of their life. So you
Girl,
wouldn't even know.
I don't even want to talk about this
whatever.
no
That's
more.
why you're
'cause-
Why don't we start off by expressing how you feel about your white-eyed son?
I just feel like Redmond is blaming me for something that Dr. Hartman explained in her genetics lab. I'm a carrier. That is not a crime.
Now look, Maury, I took this same genetics lab with Dr. Hartman. I didn't know though. You never said you were X plus XW. You said you were wild type.
Wild type, phenotype. Phenotype is the trait, and genotype is the alleles. Did you skip that day, or were you too busy judging my mitochondria?
I mean, I was in the lab. I still feel blindsided though.
You don't feel blindsided? Imagine being the recessive allele in this relationship and being ignored, constantly doubted, and then suddenly blamed when I try to express myself.
Now look, I'm sorry, Carrie. Hey flies, Maury here. Wow, what a couple Carrie allele and Redmond wild type are. But the results are in from our genetic analysis. When it comes to 16-hour-old Flyvante, Redmond wild type, you are the father.